Hi, you guys. I know as you're watching this, it is Valentine's Day, so I am adorned in red in, celebration of Valentine's Day. So today I decided that I will be making a cake for my babies. Now, I am no baker, but I can follow instructions, okay? So we will attempt to make a cake and I will decorate it. As I am preparing to bake the cake, I want to let you know that I am currently reading Under the Udala Tree by Chinelo Akpa Renta. Now, I haven't done much reading actually because I actually finished reading Mother to Mother by Sindiwe Nagoma. I'm gonna put her name right here. You guys, that book traumatized me, but oh my god, it was so gut wrenching, but it was the best. It's such a beautiful story that I can't wait to talk to you about. But like I said, let's get baking. Have my eggs. We have butter. I left it outside so it could be at room temperature. Now, as you know, as I mentioned, I'm no baker, so I just have a simple mixer. I don't have that hand mixer or that fancy one. So if you hear that beep, that's actually my oven letting me know that it's ready for me to bake my stuff. So I have the all-purpose flour. I have my measurement here. So it's gonna be 3 cups of flour, okay? Oh, by the way, the cake that I'm attempting to make is actually a remix of the butter cake. Yeah, when I say remix, it's because some ingredients are not gonna be part of it. Right, so yeah. I like to do that because it makes the cake fluffier. You know what I mean? Next, it's actually 2 cups of sugar. 2 cups of sugar. So I'm putting my dry ingredients first. Then we have 1/2 baking soda. So 1 teaspoon baking powder. Now, I'm not gonna put salt simply because my butter is salted, but had it been unsalted, then I would add the salt. So I'm gonna set this aside and then I'll do the wet ingredients. So in another bowl, I have 4 eggs and a masked rack. You know, I should have put the sugar with the eggs, right? Y'all can tell that I should have done that first, but it's not yet. It'll still amount to the same thing. There's my vanilla extract. And I need 4 teaspoons. That's a lot. Alright. Then next I'm gonna actually mix my butter in. I could start mixing the eggs, but I'm gonna put my butter first. So we need how many? So 1.5. We need I left the butter at room temperature, so it should be mixable. Then apparently we need to add either 3 teaspoons of brandy or 3 teaspoons of brandy or 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. So what I do, I add 7-Up instead of the vinegar. I find that that's more if you're making like the velvet cake, but I mean you could add it, but I'll add the 7-Up instead. So I'm gonna start mixing this. Just gonna mix it with the dry ingredients. Y'all know I love cheetah, right? This is cheetah. Okay, so hopefully this comes out a success. Or my kids to whom I have promised this cake are going to cry. So you want to so I have my buttermilk here. 1 cup. Heavy. So before I finish mixing it all together, I'm gonna add some lemon zest and lime zest just to give it a bit of taste. And then I'll take a bit of lemon juice for it to have that lemony taste. All of these are optional. As I mentioned, I'm remixing this Kentucky bun cake. So I'll just maybe use a tablespoon of this juice. Then I'll just use a tablespoon of, or maybe 2. Trust me, you will not mess up your cake. Instead of using liquor, I'd rather use these. So I'm just oiling up the pan. So in honor of Valentine's, I'm gonna make it red. I wanted pink, but I couldn't find pink. So here we have the red color that I'm gonna add it all. So I'm just gonna mix it. Instead of complicating my life by making like a red velvet cake, just make a regular cake and use the red color. So there you have it. And now I'm gonna pour it in the baking pan. I don't know if you can see it, but there you have it. So I'm gonna put it in the oven. Well, there you have it. It's ready. I'm gonna let it sit before I actually put the frosting on top. Hello. So today it is the next day. It's actually Monday, February 19th, and I just wanted to give you a little update on the book. But before I do that, let me just wish you happy Family Day. Yes, after Valentine's Day, which is Couples Day, comes Family Day, where we get to spend time with family. And just remember, family is not just blood relations. It's whoever you consider family. All right. So with that said, I unfortunately didn't do much with my kids, although in my head, the way I was envisioning my family day was for us to like have paint day, go to Dollarama, buy these paintings, and I'd also paint and like talk. And I also watched this documentary with them on Netflix about you are what you eat, because I'm trying to get them to eat like healthy stuff, like their salad, their vegetables, their legumes. And we watched that together and we didn't finish. I wanted to have that talk, but then I kind of just chilled. And my second daughter came and she was like, we were sleeping, so we didn't have family day. But I was like we live together, it's family day every day. Okay, it's just that on the calendar it's officially written family day, but we do have family time all the time. But I understood what she meant, so hopefully I will do something with them next weekend, inshallah, God willing. Last night I told you that I only read 3 chapters, and it's obviously about Ijeoma's life in Nigeria during the war in 1969, sorry. And that's where I left off. Now I've read a bit this much, and I'm actually hoping that I will be able to finish it tonight or tomorrow. But let me tell you so far what's been going on. So the mom, obviously, she is overwhelmed with the dad's death, with her husband's death, and she's overwhelmed with the war, with everything that's going on in Nigeria. So she decides that she's not able to take care of her daughter, and decides to ship her over at in another like township where there's this teacher who lives with his wife, and there's no other kids, but he's a teacher. She's a teacher, and she decides to ship her daughter Ijeoma to live there. And she's like, I don't know how long, but as soon as I know I figure things out, I will come and fetch you. Her daughter begs her to not leave her with these strangers, and she's like, can't you see that I'm doing this for you? Like, Ijeoma decides that she's not gonna, say anything. So whatever. And I think she's 12. No, she's 11 years old when she is shipped to the teacher's house. Okay. Long story short, she stays there for a long time, over a year, and her mom comes to fetch her after. And then as the story progresses, you discover that Ijeoma starts to tell that things changed, while she was there as a teacher. And you don't know yet until she mentions that when she went back to her mom, there was a bit of strain. The relationship was strained, and they weren't talking. They didn't talk for a week. And then she's like, until her mom decided to, I guess, what is the word she used? Pray for her to deliver her from her sins. And that's when you introduced a bit of what happened during that year long that she lived with the teacher. So Ijeoma met this other girl, Amina. And remember how I mentioned at the beginning of the story that she is of Igbo descent or Igbo tribe? So Amina is a Hosa girl who are responsible for the war. That's besides the point. Not besides the point. It's actually part of the point, because obviously there are 2 warring tribes, and Ijeoma is not only getting involved with a girl, and she's like 12 years old, you guys, and it's a girl from a different tribe. So you could just imagine that's a double whammy right there. Okay. Anyway, so her mom decides that she's gonna pray for that girl. She's gonna I don't want to say do an exorcism. No, that just sounds extreme. But she's gonna do extreme prayers every day. They're sitting at the dinner table and they are praying over these verses. And actually, tapped those verses. So at the end of basically 6 months, she said, is when her mom finished 6 months or 6 weeks. But for a long period, more than a month, is when her mom ended those sessions of prayer because school was starting. And I just want to read you a little bit of these Christian verses, not all of them. So, first thing, I want to read you this part. This thought occurred to me. Yes, it had been Adam and Eve, but so what if it was only the story of Adam and Eve that we got in the Bible? Why did I have to exclude the possibility of a certain Adam and Adam or a certain Eve and Eve? Just because the story happened to focus on a certain Adam and Eve did not mean that all other possibilities were forbidden. Just because the Bible recorded one specific thread of events, one specific history, why did I have to invalidate or discredit all other threads, all other histories? Woman was created for man, yes. But why did that mean that woman could not also have been created for another woman? Or meant for another man? Infinite possibilities, and each one of them perfectly viable. Okay? Next, I'm not going to read you all the verses, but these, I don't know if you could see. But these in bold italic is all the verses that her mom decided to read to Ijeoma. So first says Leviticus 18:22, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, it is abomination. Leviticus 19:19, you shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife. So for this cause God gave them unto vile affections, for even the woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. There's in Corinthians 6:9-11, and then 1 Corinthians 7:2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Okay, so basically, like I said, there's a couple of them, but I wanted to just read you some of those verses that she put in the book. So that's basically where I am. And after that, now I have come to the point where she's now fully actually talking about how this thing between her and Amina started. So that's where I am. I think the next update will probably be once I finish the book. So yeah. Let's see. These are 12-year-olds, right? Back in the hovel, our towels fell to the floor. In the near darkness, our hands moved across our bodies. We took in with our fingers the curves of our flesh, the grooves. Our hands, rather than our voices, seemed to do the speaking. Our breaths mingled with the night sounds. Eventually, our lips met. This was the beginning, our bodies being touched by the fire that was each other's flesh. Funny thing is, I've heard of stories back in Congo because I came here and I was 9, I think, when I left Congo. But I've heard through my sister of stories of how the schools there are usually, you have like schools for just boys and then school for girls. And then those were places where you have experiences between girls and girls. So I'm almost not shocked, but I'm like, they're 12 years old. I don't know. What the hell? We might as well be married, Amina said one day. You mean to each other, or do you mean to other people? She rolled her eyes at me. Of course I mean to each other. I mean that it would be nice to be married to you. So here they're talking about their feelings to each other. And she asks the question. Amina asks Ijeoma, so how does it feel? Because they're asking each other if they kissed before. And she's like, no. So Amina never kissed anyone, but Ijeoma had kissed a boy a long time ago, but it's just a friend. So Ijeoma is telling Amina that kiss didn't, feel like anything like she's feeling with Amina. So Amina asks her, how exactly does it feel with me? And she responds, tingly and good, and like everything is perfect in the world. Okay. So guys, I just wanted to update you. Again, I know I said I was gonna, talk to you once I finish the book, but I simply wanted to tell you about the part of how Amina and Ijoma were found out. So obviously the husband of the teacher, I think he's the teacher, he walked out on them while they were getting to business, but not like too graphically, you know. So obviously the teacher yelled and he screamed at the girls, and the girls were crying, and they were like naked in front of the man, which was, I found that very humiliating, but okay. So, anyways, let's talk about the part where he called the Idioma's mom to finally tell her, what had occurred. Yo. Anyways, so obviously you could just imagine the mom was not only shocked, like she was wailing, like somehow someone told her that her kid had died. That's how much of a taboo the relationship between girls and girls is over there in Nigeria. So yeah, it's, I just wanted to, like, you guys, she was wailing, like crying and like asking God for forgiveness on behalf of her daughter. And she even, she literally despised the other girl, outside of her being a hosa. She was like faulting the girl for what was going on, what was happening. So, anyways, I thought I'd just tell you that. And I understand, because it could be a shock, especially when you live in that society, and it's still taboo in most of the countries in Africa. So you can just imagine, the mom having to face such a controversial situation, and it's her little girl, and she's still young. She's like, and yeah. So yeah. Hi guys. So in today's video, I will be doing two things. I will be, first of all, unboxing my new phone, because I'm not sure if you guys know, but I've always been filming on my phone. And the past few days, my camera has been failing. Literally, that's the message every time I turn my camera on. It says, camera failed. We've done everything but reset my phone, because obviously I don't want to lose all my data and pictures and phones and documents and all that stuff. So, unfortunately, I had to buy a new phone, and I'm not too ecstatic about it, simply because it was not budgeted. But I will be opening my new phone and see if it will be, the phone of my dreams, and if the quality is fantastic, its capacity, we will discover it together, And I will also be giving you my final thoughts on Under the Udala Trees by Janello Oparenta, but also talk to you a little bit about this book that I also read. Alright, so without further ado, join me and let's get unboxing. Plus, before we get into all of this, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for all my subscribers, for always being part of this beautiful dream of mine. Thank you for, always showing up. I mean, it's very grandly appreciated. Y'all are the MVP. Y'all always the MVP. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for, for sharing my page. It's truly greatly appreciated. Okay, I am now using my husband's camera, while filming this. So let's go. So now, I am no expert on phones, but I can say that I like something that looks pretty, that is up to, that is modern enough. As in, I don't want to be too behind when it comes to technology, right? So even though my phone, I'm not too much of a techie person, I still need a nice phone. So as I was shopping for the phones, and funny thing is, my contract was already done. I was done paying my phone. Can you believe it? It's as if like the universe was like, you're done paying your phone, but you know what? I'm still gonna put you on another contract, and here we are. So as I was shopping for all the phones, I had my eyes set on a few different phones. So to make my choice a bit easier, I went online, and I went on YouTube and started searching, comparing phones. So you guys, I don't know if you can see, but this is what it says: camera failed. So I had a choice. Well, I wanted the Samsung Galaxy Fold 4. I like the way, you could fold it, you could flatten it. It became almost as big as, it had a bigger screen option. So I like that aspect. So yeah, you guys, so like I said, it had some nice features that I simply was attracted to. But in the end, I chose S24 Plus. Let's just find out what I finally ended up buying, because now I'm a bit confused. Now I think it's S24 Plus. And the current phone that I was using was actually S22 Plus. Now you're probably wondering why did I just jump? I missed one in between there, but I didn't see it in the in the options to upgrade the phone. I didn't see the S23 or 23 Plus, so I went for S24. So this is how it comes. So there you have it. It is S24 Plus. Oh yeah, that feeling, y'all. Okay, there you have it. This is how it's looking. I don't know. It has the same features a bit like my phone. Yeah. So it's not the same. So let's see. Ooh, look at the prettiness of this. Y'all see this? Okay, so where's the charger? So in this box we have the cable without the head. How come they don't bring, like, remember when we had phones and they would give you earphones with them? So the instruction says to open here. There you have it, the little slot. Then, okay. So now I have to put that little tiny SIM inside. So there it is right here. Okay, so let me just, right here, it's turning on, so let's see. Okay, so right now it's I just scanned my new phone, so it's going through the scanning of information and I believe transfer of my data and all that stuff. In the meantime, I have added some more prompts because I'm working on my prompt for my March TBR. So I just added some new prompts, and while this is doing its thing, I'll be doing this. So I had already some prompts in there, so I'm just now holding these. Is it just me, or is it like March, the month where everybody does like a TBR, a jar TBR? Because I've noticed a lot of booktubers, like for the month of March, almost everyone was using a jar to choose their book. So yeah, that's cool. It's trendy to have it a jar. So Babe's here. He's the techie person in this household, so he's just making sure that all is working perfectly. So what he will be doing is, while I'm filming here, he's gonna film me and show me the quality of the phone and see if it's up to par. Because if it's not, it will depart. Oh! Good one. Yeah, I think I have the last prompt. And look at this. Isn't it pretty? It's cute. And my jar is ready to do its job. So, okay. Like I said, I will show the quality of my new phone when I'm filming my TBR. But in the meantime, let's talk about this book, Under the Udala Trees. Last time I updated you on this book, I was talking to you about how Gioma's mom had discovered and was questioning her on, oh boy, things have developed really quick until the end. And it's weird, it's very interesting because the book does follow Ijeoma from the time she is, very young, from the time she is like, university or college, all the way to her being a mother. Now, I don't want to spoil the story for you, but what I want to say is that after her mom questioned her, she decided that the girl needed to be delivered. She needed deliverance. So they were done school, and then the other girl, Amina, stayed with the teacher at that house, and Ijeoma went back to live with her mom. And while they're waiting for school to start again, so I think they have, is it 2 months or more than one? I want to say 6 months, but that's a lot. So she's off school, and her mom decides that during that period, before she starts school again, they're gonna go through the Bible. And when I say, and I think I've read a few of the chapters of the Bible to you guys in the video, she went on telling her how it was an abomination. What she was doing, what she was feeling was not natural, and it will not be accepted. She needed to change. And of course, Ijeoma went through the whole motion of her mom praying for her and reading the Bible. And at some point you see that she is struggling very, very hard because she wants to be normal, but she can't help, feeling those feelings. And as she grows up, she does go back to school and she sees Amina again. But what follows is that Amina tentatively tries to be a friend again, a friend to Ijeoma, and Ijeoma wants to continue. Like, she wants to continue what developed between them. But it looked like Amina was simply not gonna have it anymore. It looked like either what the teachers did in terms of like prayer or deliverance worked on her, but not on Ijeoma. So she's like, no. And at some point you see how Ijeoma tries to find her one of these days, she tries to go and find Amina after school so they can hang out or whatever. And she discovers Amina with a boy. And that's it. Like, that's the end of the story with her and Amina. So day goes by, years goes by. She is now working with her mom in the store, and she's like, I guess, in university. And at some point, her mom keeps telling her, asking her, like, you need to go out, you need to, date, you need to find a boy, you need to find a husband to marry because, you're growing older. And Ijeoma is like, yeah, sure. And one day, this woman walks in the store and boom, they're starstruck or love struck or attraction struck again, and Ijeoma is now like trying to navigate the same feelings that she thought she had, I guess, suffocated. She thought she had moved past. But now seeing this girl, it all comes back to her, and they strike a friendship at first. I'm gonna conclude very soon. So this woman brings her to a place that looks like a church, and then when she goes inside, she discovers that it's not actually a church. It's a secret place where girls, who are into girls, get together and basically celebrate, in a safe space. So they're there, and now it becomes a nightly occurrence. Her mom is obviously angry because she's like, "Where are you? Why are you coming back home so late?" And she's like, "Oh no, me and her friend are just, they're going out, but they're gonna come back." And her mom is no longer suspecting that her daughter is into that. She thinks she's been delivered. She's fine now. So before I conclude, I want to say that there was an event that occurred, and that really, really, really shocked me, because this story is happening in modern days. It's not like way back in the days, but unfortunately, as I mentioned previously, Nigeria is not down with same-sex relationships, so it's still frowned upon, and it has very deadly consequences if you're caught. From point in the story, you hear Ijeoma hears a story of two men that were stoned and drowned because obviously they were together. And one night when she's having, fun with her girlfriends there, they hear a loud banging at the door, and then everybody's like, okay, shuffling, everybody's trying to go hide, because they know that loud banging is not friendly, something's about to go down. And unfortunately, something does go down. A woman gets burnt, literally, tire burn, like a young woman again. Now that really shocked me, because not even a criminal who probably molested a child, raped a child, will get the same treatment. But a woman who decides that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna love a girl, you are burning her. Burning people, I mean, of course, imprison her, fine her, or give her warning. I know they knew, you know what I mean? Like, all these girls, that's why they had that safe place. They knew of the consequences, but even at that, just reading that story was just like, ugh. But anyways, you guys, in the end, Ijeoma has to find a certain solution, resolution, determination to how she's going to live her life, knowing that if she does persist in wanting to live the life as a person, who loves women, she knows the consequences. Now, would she choose that path? She does end up getting married to her guy friend from when she was really young, and I don't want to spoil the end. But again, she needs to determine if that's the life for her, if she's happy with a man, if she wants her children to grow up in that kind of relationship, or is she gonna follow her heart and possibly break the hearts of many people, including her mom and maybe the husband, who knows? But she has to make a choice. And frankly, you guys, the story was good. It had important topics, important discussions. It's an interesting book. So, if you haven't picked it up, I suggest and highly recommend that you pick it up. It's a very nice book. There you have it. And for my rating, I will give it 3.5 out of 5. I have no complaints really, so 3.5 out of 5. And lastly, I'm going to talk about this book, you guys. I'm going to talk about this book because it was part of my, February TBR. And it's the story of Libertie. So I had a bit of a hard time reading this book. It's a quick read, but I just had a hard time reading this book. So Libertie is born in a time where it's after the war, it's construction era, after slavery and civil war and all that stuff, and they live somewhere in Brooklyn. Now the story with Libertie is that she is born of a mom that can almost pass for white, and Libertie is dark skinned. When I say dark skinned, she's dark skinned, and obviously it's because of her father. Now her father did pass away when she was really young, so she didn't really have time to have a relationship with him. He passed away a long time ago. So it's just her and her mom. And her mom is the only doctor in that county. And she's obviously helping everyone, including white people as well. So her mom decides that Libertie will be her assistant. She will grow and follow into her footsteps. And they will eventually, when time permits and she's ready to practice medically, they can open a hospital together, a clinic together. And at the beginning, Libertie seems to be following in her mom's footsteps, But at some point, she also, before she goes to university in another location, she will discover the racism that still lingers in Brooklyn, in the county. Because at some point, her mom has to take care of patients, including white patients. And they will only allow her, white patients, to take care of her because, as I mentioned, she can pass for white. So they're like, okay, that's fine. So when Libertie, she's a bit grown up at that point, and she has a little bit of the qualifications because her mom has been teaching her to help around. But every time she tries to help those white women, they recoil when they see her. They obviously don't want her to touch. And when she sees her mom not coming to her aid, but actually telling Libertie to leave so she can accommodate these white women while she's taking care of them. Libertie, is furious. She's like, "You're my mother. Like, how can you stand for this? Like, you know that I'm capable of it, but yet you are here helping women, these white people who are still not only killing us, but don't even want me to touch them." Her mom is like, "You're too young, you have not grappled the gravity, the reality yet." So she decides to send her to study medical school somewhere else. Once she's there, Liberty meets friends, people who are into music, who sing, and she almost feels like she wants to do that. But then at some point, there comes also before that, but before she decides to change course, basically, her and her mom exchange letters. And Liberty still harbors hard feelings, like, feelings of anger towards her mom because, her mom has not stood up for her and she sent her away to school, and now she's meeting all these people and deciding that, what, medical school is not for her, and she's failing her courses. So she not only can she not tell her mom, but she also decides to almost ignore her mom's letters, but she still responds. And at some point, her mom tells her that, oh, there's this young man who has arrived in town and he's from Haiti and he's helping, he's into medical school and all that stuff. And Liberty's like, like her mom, her letters are now almost, she doesn't revere the Haitian man, but she's very much, she has taken him into her apprenticeship. She's very, she talks about him constantly and how he's progressing into the medical field and stuff like that. Long story short, Liberty goes back and she does meet this young Haitian man. And of course, he too is very light skinned and can pass. And yeah, he's handsome. And lo and behold, they struck up a friendship that will turn into something more. But before it even got that far, her mom discovers like this little letter that was almost coded, but it really didn't say much. So she tells Liberty that, what, you have been soiled, you have been, and her Liberty's like, nothing happened, and her mom won't believe it. So they end up getting married. Long story, they end up getting married. They go to Haiti. And I love the fact that Haiti was mentioned here because if you watch my my previous video, I spoke about Toussaint Louverture. So Haiti has a fond place in my heart. Anything Haitian, I love because I love the Haitian Revolution. Like, I think that's my favorite story in the world. The way Black people that were descended from Africa, some of them were descended from my country, unbeknownst to me, I feel that ancestral connection pulling at me, wanting me to know these stories. So anyway, so she goes to Haiti and they had a relationship. Like, they seem to like each other, they seem to love each other. And the Haitian and the doctor, I'll call him the doctor, I forgot his name, but he seems to love Liberty. But the only thing is, Haiti is also going through its reconstructive period as well. You know what I mean? So Haiti is in that the position that women hold in society is still very minimal. Although the doctor did tell them that together they would be an accomplished couple, they would, accomplish things, they would do a lot of things. And unfortunately, when Liberty goes to Haiti, not only that she is met with a bit of tension when it comes to the relationship between her in-laws and her, she discovered that her sister-in-law is cuckoo or pretending to be cuckoo. The father is even more crazier because he apparently governs that part. He's like a bishop, like a very religious man, and there's almost like a cult going on in there. And she discovers all of that. She discovers a bit of voodoo and how people actually mix voodoo and Christianity, and I knew of that. Haiti's known for that, and I've read enough books about how, back in the days they had to do that, because you wanted to preserve the culture, the religion that you knew from back home in Africa, but then you were also met with this new religion, and as the generation increased, and you needed to find a middle ground between those two beliefs. So she discovers all of that, and unfortunately Liberty will discover that the life she had envisioned and where she had envisioned is not turning out the way she had, I guess, wanted it to turn out. So yeah, that's basically the gist of the story. I'm not really spoiling the end, is what it is, but it was no kid story. I say, of all the stories that I've read with the slave narratives, or you know, after war and all of those stories set in that time, this one was particularly, it was meant for me. And I understand that it has historical facts in them, in the story, but in terms of my interest, I was okay. Okay, so I'll say 2.5 out of 5. You know, I mean, I could give it a 3, but 2.5. I would still recommend it. As I said, it had some facts that you would, it's good to always learn about, right? There you have it, you guys. So that was the conclusion of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you will give me a thumbs up. I hope you will comment, even if you don't give me long sentences, you know, a little smile, a little appreciative heart, you know, whatever, you know, will always goes a long way. And I hope that you will share. So let me start that back again. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in my next video.